Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here with another Sims 4 speed build. And this one is a bit of a beast. So go and grab yourself a cup of tea, get snuggled in, and we will get started. This is a huge mansion. I feel like I've said that a lot recently. I am very much liking the bigger builds right now. I wasn't at the end of recording this, I have to be fair, and it may be a while before my next one, but this one is in Delta Valley, and it is in the Pinnacles neighbourhood, right at the very top, the very big sort of posh, affluent houses, and that's what we're doing here for a movie star. I mean, you could do it for anyone, obviously, if they've got the money to do so, but my kind of idea in my head was that it was somebody who's been in a long-running TV programme, maybe they've done a few films, they've got a good fan base, they've got lots of money coming in, that sort of thing. That's really what I was sort of building in here. Now this only has 3 bedrooms, which is surprising, but for the size of the house it's very surprising, but yeah, it's a bit of an odd one in terms of size inside. So yeah, you'll see it obviously when I do the floor plan in there, but there is obviously an office and there is actually a gym complex as well, and there's like a sauna which I guess you could take out and add into be another bedroom if you really wanted another room into there. But it is very fancy, it is very posh, it is oh so grand, and I've kind of tried to mix some old kind of build into a very luxurious place. I feel like normally, especially in like homes that I tend to see from like Hollywood, Beverly Hills, that sort of thing, you kind of have like the old homes which have like been modernised on the inside, and then you have like the ultra modern homes. This one is definitely in the first category. It's an older home, it's loved, it's been used, it's maybe been expanded a few times, but it is definitely a family home which is very much for a very rich family into there. So I've gone back to my sort of most favourite kind of brickwork that we have at the moment, which is the one from Werewolves. It kind of has like 2 different sorts of swatches. One of them has like the sort of hazardous sort of marks, sort of lines on them, or this just plain brickwork one, which is my favourite. I feel like I use this a lot if I am doing kind of old sort of homes, because it looks very distressed and it looks very like it's been there for a while, which is definitely what I wanted in here. And then you've kind of got like the Tudor sort of top with the wooden bits and pieces, and then you even have the castle kit sort of brickwork as well in some of the turrets, because I felt like it needed a little bit something, so that's why I added them. And I've got to be fair, super annoying. I had recorded, I think I'd done all of the floor plan and I had done all the exterior work, and then my game crashed and I lost the entire lot. I literally have got to the point where I was like, right, I'm just going to finish this bit and then I'm going to save, and then like, you know, I'm done. And then the game was just like, yeah, no, EA need to do an update, so the game's gone. And I lost everything, which is super frustrating, especially because I think it had taken me about an hour to do that, and then it crashed, so I lost quite a bit. On a positive note, doing this floor plan the second time was quite quick because I had a rough idea of what I was going to do. But yes, we have this nice little front area that we're working on here. I wanted some nice sort of tall hedges, but not too imposing that it would take away too much in here. So we have these nice little hedges that work in there, and because I've tore them into place, it kind of cheats the system a little bit so that they don't bounce up onto the right levels of the terrain, because we have this driveway going up into the house, which there is actually a garage inside for your cars as well, and there's obviously room for more up on the outside as well, and a nice little front entrance area into here. and these windows, absolutely love them. I've grown to like them. I think the windows for me were always okay. I never had a problem with the windows from the castle kit. It was practically everything else. But I've used them in here, and yeah, I think it really adds something to that sort of older look of the build, which I was definitely going for with this. And then obviously we move on to the inside in a little bit, and you can see how much I've kind of modernised the whole build in there, as it's something that has been built up and added to over time, and that's really what I wanted in here. So this is the back garden area. We've kind of got a couple of seating areas, sort of some sort of semi-in, semi-out, kind of nice little covering areas. And then we have this sort of pool area. I didn't do too much else to this sort of outside area because it didn't really need too much more. And also I kind of built, when I did the floor plan, I kind of built this at the back of the lot because I worked backwards. So I actually, because of the way the lighting is, I do a lot of this from sort of the back garden aspect, and it meant that I couldn't work out how far forward I really wanted it to go. So he kind of just left it where I built it, which means you have quite a long front garden but not too much around the back in terms of sort of garden space. But I feel like I have done a really nice sort of deal. So we've got this nice big sort of pool in here, and we place out some sort of lounges and stuff like that in here too, and kind of make it all connected to sort of the patio area. And you can see here I have grassed, or I have striped the grass everywhere. I've done that at the front as well. Now, because this was such a long build and it was quite complicated, I had a little bit of difficulty trying to get everything to work and to be in place, so I have cut out quite a bit in here. I hope you don't mind, but some things just obviously didn't make the cut, otherwise we would be here forever, and it's already probably slightly too long for what I would normally do anyway. So yes, we're having a few more hedges in and around the place, and then getting out some little cypress trees just in here, just to give it a little bit of height and sort of grandeur in a few places. I didn't want to use the palm trees that we've got kind of lining one of the sides of this build. For me, they don't really scream class and elegance and poshness, which I think this build definitely sort of shows. So yeah, I changed them out for these sort of cypress kind of taller plants into here, and then there's a couple on like patios and stuff that I have placed in those little pots. Those pots come from the world objects of city living, so they're just sort of normal little planters. And then we have this little patio here, lots of sort of candles, nice little romantic kind of area here. I think we end up using like 3 or 4 different sort of candle types just to kind of give different glows, different sort of lighting aspects, all in here as well. And I think it really adds. Some of the nighttime shots for this build you'll see at the end are gorgeous, because obviously the city lights up as well. It just adds so much to this city. But we are using the cushions, and I think just adding little details like that just make this build kind of come alive into here as well. But yeah, nice little area just to kind of relax and enjoy the pool and enjoy the sun. A little bit of privacy as well, because obviously you do have that big drop down one side here, so you're not going to be overlooked by anybody else into there, which is what I really wanted in here. I obviously have those hedges in, but it just adds a nice little space into here for them to relax. And then I do basically stripe the rest of this grass, you can see here, because I didn't want to do anything else with it, because there wasn't really any sort of need to add anything to that, and it was such a small space that the only thing I could really do was plant it up in there. And I didn't really think that would have added anything to this sort of build sort of space in here. But this is the little sort of patio, as I say. Some of them are seating areas, some of them are kind of like alfresco sort of dining areas in here, and then they obviously have the kind of roof terraces on the top as well, and you'll see those as we go along. But this is the little garage area. I yet out this sort of super fancy high-end sports car, because as I say, the people that live here, they have loads of money, and I feel like they've got the newest, fanciest, poshest car that you can get, and it was kind of this one. Now the rest of this is kind of a little bit boring for the garage. It was just a couple of little pieces pulled out, and then we are on to the main house. So I said it had 3 bedrooms. It actually has 3.5 bathrooms, so each of the bedrooms are en suite. I don't show you how I make them because that would be like another hour to this video. I do show you a couple of them in the screenshots, and obviously if you download this you'll also get them in there. But yes, this is a nice little entranceway. So as I say, it's a bit modernised. There are a few older bits in here. So obviously we have the stairs from the castle kit, and obviously the front doors and the windows and stuff. But inside I feel like they have completely gutted it and made it very, very modern, and very much a sort of family home as well. I kind of wanted it a place where you could entertain if you wanted, you could have friends over, you could have like dinner parties, you could have that sort of option, but also you can sit down as a family and watch TV. And there are a few little knickknacks here and there. There are some personalisation touches which I add to the house as well. But doorways, archways and things like that. There is a few little sort of platforms here and there as well, but I think it just sort of adds to that whole nice, gorgeous look. So you've just seen me add in a couple of gallery artwork pieces in there. Now these are non-CC, there is no CC in my build, even though I used mods and these gallery artwork pieces. It's not flagged, it's completely free into there on the gallery. You don't need to go and download these artwork pieces, they come with a build for you. If you do like them, definitely go over and check out the creators of them. I have put a screenshot of their artwork at the end, and also I will put their IDs down in the description so you can check that out as well. They are gorgeous, and it just gives me so much more options and possibilities when it comes to artwork. Because I feel that's one area in the game that is really lacking, and it's quite difficult to actually come up with a build, especially like this, or very kind of niche builds like this, because there's just not the artwork or pieces for it. So using some just small little pieces of gallery artwork into there, a few pieces. I think there's 3 downstairs, and I think I have 3 more upstairs, but you'll see those when we come to doing the hallway up there as well. But we're on to here in the living area. So this it's kind of the family home. I feel like maybe they'll do a little bit of socializing in here, but it's mainly just like family time in here. So a few more little pieces of sort of knickknacks. We've got some candles on the table, a couple of books, a couple of statues, nothing too kind of personal, but also a little bit of sort of clutter just here and there throughout this build, which I absolutely love. Into here, and then yeah, this nice TV, which I think came from the modern NOCC kit, which I've used quite a few of the pieces from that in this build, I have to be fair, because it does look gorgeous in here. Now I have some fireplaces throughout this build, and they are in kind of the weirdest places. I kind of built them when I did the exterior. I kind of set out where they were going to be, and it kind of just meant that I had to use them in the inside, but they didn't really work when I came to doing the floor plan. So they are kind of tucked into little corners, and they don't really add anything to the sort of build, as it were. But I thought a nice little air fireplace to go in there, other than you're just going to have a random empty chimney, which is not fun, and it's just a waste of space for everybody into there. But Yeah, I had a nightmare with this bit in here. It would not let me do it into there. But a nice little sort of bar area. Obviously, it is completely fake. We do have a bar in the kitchen. But it's just a nice little personal sort of touch of where you could come in here. You could have sort of your family get-togethers and you can make yourself a drink while you're in here. You don't have to leave the room or miss anything at all in here. And yeah, this is one of the little sort of inside-outside sort of areas. This one I use as just a sort of seating area, a couple of sort of sofas, and because these are archways essentially, they're not doorways or anything like that, so it will just sort of let the air flow. But I feel like maybe you could have kind of like glass kind of coming in over them, sort of, I don't know, like some way you can shut them all down, because obviously safety wise it's probably not the best to have a giant archway leading straight into your living room. But I placed in some curtains, which you're going to see in just a second. I fume about because they don't sit properly. Well, they do, but they archways clip out, and it's just little bits like that that the team didn't really think about into here. Now this is the dining room. We have skipped over the kitchen. The kitchen is very boring. I struggled really badly with coming up with some sort of concept for the kitchen. I didn't know, and this is something I feel with a lot of my mansions. Do I go ultra modern, high-end sort of kitchen? Do I go old school? I don't know. So this one I've kind of gone for a very sort of minimalistic kind of kitchen, in the fact that there's not a lot in there. You have obviously all your bits and pieces that you need for a working kitchen, but there's no clutter, there's no personality, there's no life to the kitchen. It's just kind of room with the bare necessities in here. But then you have this dining area. Now we have this gorgeous little circle round table, which I thought added a nice little change. I don't tend to use round tables a great deal, but I thought this space, it didn't really work to have a sort of full square table or rectangle table, so I decided to mix it up and go for a round one in here. And then we do have another smaller one, or well, it's not smaller, it's the same number of chairs, but a slightly different one out here as well. Now this is the other kind of inside-outside room. This one at the end in here has another sort of alfresco sort of seating area, a nice kind of area that maybe you could come out and have lunch in. If you're spending the afternoon by the pool, you just want a little bit of shade, something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking. I've left this pretty minimalistic in here. A couple of plants on the table, big rug underneath in here as well, and trying to find out a rug that would really work. And I thought this one, I don't tend to use this one either. It's kind of for the build that I'm using different pieces. Very unlike me. What is happening into here? And then I'm kind of mixing those plants up. So they are all the same plant, but I've used like 2 or 3 of them in there, and I've kind of rotated them around. So it just adds a fuller, kind of bushier, more kind of old plant than kind of the little twigs that were in there as it was before. But then this is a little home office. So this one we've kind of gone very light wood on here, and I feel like very much to be like a celebrity or a movie star or something, you need a good sort of management, and you need a good kind of like team behind you. And I feel like this is a room where maybe they are manuscripts on the wall, maybe they are also an author, or maybe it's even a director or a scriptwriter, something like that, where they have a team of people that maybe come in here, an assistant or something like that, and it's kind of very much their domain. I have placed lots of trophies and lots of clutter in this build as well, especially this room with awards, and you see some of them there. Ignore the statues. I had basically, they were the closest thing to hand when it came to finding something that I could fit on the bottom shelves. to stop anything else snapping to them. So they do get deleted. But actually, funny thing, they get deleted in the second upload, because it was only during the screenshots that I realised I left one behind. So you nearly did have one, but I did manage to find it and delete it in there. And then, as I say, a couple of awards, a couple of sort of trophies on the wall here, and certificates and other bits and pieces like that. Maybe a little bit of memorabilia as well. Now we're jumping up into the gym area. So this could easily be turned into another bedroom if you wanted. You do have the sauna right next door, which could also become another sort of ensuite. So there is that sort of possibility if you wanted to do that. But I thought they need to be in shape, they need to be able to withstand the grueling regime of sort of making movies and things like that. And so yeah, that's why we have a huge high-end sort of gym in this house in here. But I think it really works in there, a nice little sort of touch to this sort of build. And yeah, I think we use a lot of the stuff from Spa Day, like gym wise in here. I use that a lot in the bathrooms as well. I kind of went through and created some really gorgeous bathrooms, but as I said earlier, it took maybe about an hour to do the 3 bathrooms, and so I was just like, there's no way I can cut any of that out. It would just have to all be in there. And then you get to the old decision of, well, I could make it into 2 videos, but no, we'll just keep it into 1 and we'll just roll with it into here. So that's what we've done in here. And yeah, we've got this little gym in here, a few bits and pieces that I think work in here as well. So we've got like the little yoga mat, and we've got the little weights and dumbbells and stuff in there. And I also cut out the sort of patio area behind that, so the little balcony that has a yoga mat on it as well, because I thought with the gym you would then sort of maybe want to go outside and just relax and unwind for a little while after a busy, heavy day and things like that. Now this is the top of the stairs up here. This is kind of a myriad of doors in here, and we've kind of got the nice big piano. I've got the little violin in as well. So if you want to make this room, this house any cheaper, delete the 15,000 violin. I won't mind into here. And then there's also a microphone in there for maybe a little bit of singing, a little bit of music in here too. And then a nice little seating area. At the top of the stairs, I just really struggled to find something to fill in this space, because this house is so large. It kind of made it really difficult to actually fill little spaces. So if in doubt, shove in a plant, shove in a chair. That's kind of my go-to method to fill in big houses in here. But these are the second lot of artwork pieces that I used, and I thought these ones, being like ultra modern, kind of very nice sort of white, black, gold kind of builds, added in a nice little touch of glam to this build into here. And then another rug, always a rug. You always have to have a rug in a build. I still have that criticism now. Someone did complain there was not a rug, so every room now has to have at least one rug in it. In here, now these little urns, these are a little bit strange. These are actually the urns for horses when they die, but they are kind of gorgeous. So I use them kind of there as more of a decorative kind of pots rather than anything else. I think the other in-game sort of urns are a little bit weird, and even the ones that aren't like actual urns, that are just like statues, they just feel a little bit weird to me. So I thought, let's use those ones in here. Nice sort of gold topped sort of little pots in here. But this is the main bedroom in here. Now this has its own ensuite and its own walk-in wardrobe space as well. That is through one of these doors. So you also, there's in the walk-in wardrobe, there is the kind of like the platform for, I mean, you can possibly maybe see a little bit of it for when they get sort of like made up and stuff for the acting career. So you can sort of put in your costumes and do all of that downstairs as well. But then upstairs we have this little bar, fireplace area in here, and then there is another little seating area. These rooms are huge, and I struggled when I even did the floor plan because the rooms were so big, and I knew I obviously needed to have the stairs in that central place of how to get as many bedrooms as I possibly could in. How many sort of bathrooms do I need? How many sort of windows does each room have? It all kind of had to be worked out into there to make it actually work, which is why we have so few bedrooms for such a big build into here. But then, as I say, little seating area here, a couple of thrones. I love these thrones at the moment. For a fact, I use them quite a lot into there, especially in that sort of white and gold look. I feel like they're very sort of regal in those colours. Obviously they do have some kind of funky cool swatches as well, but not really what I'm looking for this build. So yeah, a nice little area here, and then grab out a small little plant as well. Lots of plants. In here, if there's a corner, there's a plant usually in here as well. And then out on that sort of decking area, sort of balcony, I do put in a hot tub and actually an easel as well. I didn't show you that because that was done when I did the sort of bathroom areas, and yeah, it's just a nice simple little space out there just for sort of the celebrities or the sort of the parents in this household in here. So in my head and the family I created for the screenshots, they are a married couple. They have they're adults, maybe pushing a little bit into elders, but they have like a young adult sort of child whose bedroom this is in here, who still lives at home, maybe wants to get into acting as well, but sort of feels that to do that they need to be sort of in the right area, so the parents have let them stay in this sort of massive big mansion rather than sort of kicking them out on their own a little bit into here. And then the final bedroom is for their teenage sort of son, which we'll see in just a minute. But this room, very kind of basic in here, I've got to be honest. It kind of was a case of like black and white and gold, but I feel like it kind of worked for that sort of classy kind of look in here. And then this one, I feel like they've kind of just said, yeah, you know what, you can just have free run, this is your room, do whatever you like with it. So this was for a teenage boy who is actually quite clean, but I feel that's probably more down to like the housekeepers rather than the sort of the boy child himself or teenager himself in here. A few little bits of sort of detail work in here, but they are a gamer, they are maybe a live streamer or something. Well, I've put in a big sort of computer in here, so that's kind of what I had in my mind for what these people sort of do. Oh boy, in here, and lots of sort of random kind of clutter here and there, which I think really works for what I wanted into here. So yeah, just a few nice little pieces in there, and then we kind of go all out in a minute. There's going to be an explosion of sort of colour coming into this build, which I don't think we've so far really had anywhere. Whether sort of the boy or teenager follows into like the family sort of trade of being an actor or something, I don't know. That's something you maybe want to do when you sort of get hold of this house and play in here. But there is this little, on the side here, there's this little handrail. It clips through, it's from the stairs, super annoying, so I end up having to cover it up here with the they're kind of like ceiling trims, I think, or floor trims from high school, but you kind of, if you rotate them round off of a wall, they've kind of just got this blank sort of concrete look, which I thought worked in here really well for kind of what I wanted in there as a nice sort of headboard kind of space in there, and then some sort of shelving on there to kind of act as sort of bedside tables and things like that. But yes, we are very quickly coming up to the end of this video. So if you have enjoyed this build, then do let me know. Give me a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to do next. There's lots of things I have planned for this game, and obviously pack wise, I don't know what's coming, but we'll have to sort of see what the future holds, and maybe we'll be back here in Delta Valley with another build soon. Who knows? But for now, I will leave you with these screenshots. But until next time, stay happy and stay building. Bye everyone!